idea the amount of ignorant mess we're about to get into right now.
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
Hello and welcome to a brand new preview episode for Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
And Tiara.
Hey.
All right, guys, we're back. This is a preview for episode 198 for Color Girls. This is your yearly Tyler Perry movie. I hope you are happy. So this is obviously the 2010 film, and I will give the logline for it. Each of the women portray one of the characters represented in the collection of 20 poems, revealing different issues that impact women in general and women of color in particular. This is based on the play by Ntozake Shange of the same name. So I've never seen this. We have long talked about doing this movie, and Terrence said, I will not be on that episode. And since he's not going to be on this episode, we're going to do it. So for Color Girls, you can find this for free on Amazon Prime. So check it out there with ads. So you know they really want you to see it. And then you can watch it on Tubi, I think, for free as well. Is that correct?
Tubi, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there you go. I think, Tiara, you're the only one who's watched this movie.
I saw it. I saw it in theaters.
Okay. Well, good. That way we can get. I'm very excited about having the black woman's perspective on this movie.
A black woman's perspective, not the black woman's perspective.
No, that's how black people work. You represent everybody who looks like you.
We are not a monolith, so I know what I may think about the movie. There's another black woman disagrees. Totally okay, because we are diverse.
Nope. Agree to disagree. We will be taking on the ignorant ass black male perspective, and you will take on the black woman perspective. That's
prepare for a lot of misogynoir or whatever.
I hate that word.
Such a stupid word.
Yeah, it's a dumb word. The idea, fine. The portmanteau is dumb. Okay, so
yeah, you heard that. The idea of black misogyny is fine. That's what you said.
That's what I said. You know what? I'm not taking it back. I'll live with it. That cancel culture. I'm terrified that someone will come and take it out of context. No, but in all seriousness, look for that next week. So we do have a random topic this week, which is sort of like an obvious topic, and then we're gonna kind of splinter off into another one and connect them. So obviously the trial of murderous cop Derek Chauvin came to a head this past week, where he was found guilty on 3 different counts of murder. Weirdly, everyone was waiting with bated breath to see if he would be convicted, considering we live in America and cops almost never get convicted, even with video evidence. So he was obviously convicted of killing George Floyd. So I guess, what are your thoughts on, are you surprised at how it worked out? You know, do you have general trepidations about the sentencing? Because that's coming up. And any other thoughts on it? Tiara?
Yeah. Not surprised. I mean, even though I think leading up to the verdict, I was still like holding my breath, because I mean, we watched this man die on video and it still wasn't a slam dunk. But what was different about this trial compared to others, I think, is just seeing how other cops kind of sold him out. And also in seeing how other major conservative talking heads like Pat Robertson was like, throw this dude under the jail. And it seemed like he had to be the guy that cops were like, fine, you got us. Mm-hmm. We know, like this.
You didn't get us.
Oh, no, you got him. Yeah, you got him. So damn, are y'all happy now? Take him and go. I am nervous about the sentencing. I think I was very happy to see that he was found guilty, but I'm worried that when he's sentenced, he'll get like a slap on the wrist. But was I surprised about the verdict? No. I guess I'm pretty bullish on
on the sentencing. Just considering that the judge is a former public defender, and they generally do not go easy on cops. Like, that's just not a thing. So that's a good thing. It's interesting that Chauvin's lawyers were like, we're going to just we're going to bypass jury sentencing and just leave it up to the judge. I'm like, good luck. But, I mean, I guess it's their best play, but turns out probably not. This guy is not like a conservative judge who's like, cops are all good. Like, that's not his history. So good luck with that. So yeah, I'm pretty bullish on that. I think it's probably going to work out just fine. The overall verdict, I have to say I was still nervous that it was either going to be like, oh, he'd get, he'd basically get like manslaughter or something like that, and then just kind of be able to kind of coast away. So I'm happy that the people who were on the jury were like, no, dude, this is clearly a murder. Like, there's just no argument. I saw one of the jurors came out today or recently and said, yeah, if it wasn't for one of the jurors, we would have been done in 20 minutes. Like,
wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was like, this was not even a question for us. I don't know, but guess the race of that person who held it up. I mean, come on. So yeah, look, I think you'd have to be a bigot, or like both of your eyes don't work and you're a bigot, to think that this wasn't a murder. Like it simply was. There's no question about it. So I'm glad he was found guilty on all three counts. I think, it should be obvious that that's what happens. I do want to sort of say that when people say this is justice being served, it's not justice. This is accountability. Someone did a crime and faced actual accountability. We have not seen cops facing accountability in so long, if ever, that it makes us feel like that's justice. Justice is that George Floyd went home to his family that night. That would be justice. Right. So this is a step towards justice in general towards Black people and people of color in policing. But this is accountability. Like, things will happen with police where people will be killed, unfairly. Like, I hate to say this, but that's just the nature of policing, right? Like, somebody's going to get shot, like they killed this young girl with a knife or whatever. People are going to get shot mistakenly or on purpose or like whatever, like based on biases or misunderstandings, whatever the reason. And I'm not even addressing any of those cases at all. I'm just saying as a generality, that those kind of things will happen. But when they are things that happen that are on purpose, people need to face accountability for that, right? Or even if it's a mistake. Right? Like the white woman cop who killed the guy using, said, "Oh, I mistook my taser for my pistol." Yeah, you made that. Like, let's say she's being honest. And again, I'm not giving my opinion on that at all. But let's say she's being honest and she legitimately made a mistake. Well, if you legitimately make a mistake and kill somebody, you still go to jail for that shit. Right. That's still manslaughter. So like, that is facing accountability. So in Chauvin's case, I think it was very much on purpose. I don't think he gave a shit. I mean, look at his face the whole time. So yeah, this is just a case of facing accountability. I don't feel like this is necessarily justice, nor do I think it's like the canary in the coal mine for how Black people are going to be treated in the future. I don't at all, which is sad, but I don't feel that. Micah, your thoughts?
I mean, I didn't really want to talk about Derek Chauvin just because, what else is there to say? I'm happy for his family that they got some sort of peace of mind, but I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but that's not gonna affect anywhere outside of Minneapolis.
Yep,
if that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, if that,
yeah.
So this isn't it's a win, but it's a Pyrrhic victory, yo. Like, somebody had to die for this.
Right.
like all the like somebody had to die for this, and somebody else had to record it. Otherwise, we wouldn't even be talking about it.
Right.
No, it would just be another he said, she said type of thing.
And people started republishing the original police report or the or what the press release said or whatever.
Yeah.
By Minneapolis PD, saying like, oh, a suspect died at the scene. He had a medical emergency. Blah 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 blah. It's a complete lie. And can you imagine if that then 17-year-old hadn't recorded it? And even for her, I'm a little nervous because her face and name are everywhere.
Right.
But something else I wanted to bring up is that the other day here in the Bay Area, there was a guy here, a Latino man who was killed in a similar fashion as George Floyd.
I saw that. Yeah.
And it's been like his murder's been playing everywhere here on local news, which is something I never want to see. I never want to see people get murdered by police. But now his family is like, are we going to see justice for him too? And he was someone who someone called the cops on him because he was drunk in the park. Cops came and they kneeled on him. And one of the cops was like, oh, do you have weight on him? And the cop was like, no. But he ended up saying I couldn't breathe and he ended up passing away.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If somebody's drunk, like, there's almost never a reason, like, unless they're fighting, there's almost never a reason to have to use force.
Yeah.
It's not.
And I think like, I feel similar as Micah. Like I think a couple weeks ago we were thinking about talking about it, or people asked us in Discord to talk about it, and we were both like, what else is there to say? Because for me, I don't feel safer. For me, it's I don't fuck with cops. I don't want to be near them under any circumstances unless I really, 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 really need them. But for me, just seeing them gives me like a wave of anxiety because you just never know. And I wouldn't want to put my life at risk by interacting with them. And then like, as we were all celebrating the verdict, they killed a 15-year-old girl in, what was it? Cleveland, Ma'Khia Bryant.
Yeah. Who
called the cops because she saw women fighting and they shot her, even though she had a knife. And now you see other folks, Black men, who are saying, well, she had a knife, but she's 15.
So, okay, here's my only thing with that. And I don't know. I'm not doing the Fox News asking questions where I actually, have an opinion. I don't know.
Yeah.
Was there video? Because I've heard multiple comments that seem to be contradicting each other. Was there video of her lunging at someone with a knife or no?
I don't know.
Okay. Because if I'm going off of the idea that she was lunging at someone with a knife, to me, that's not an apples to apples comparison to what happened with these other guys. If she's just standing there with a knife and you open fire on that person, that's a different fucking conversation, right? Like, that's the Tamir Rice shit. Like, we just drive up and you just start firing, right? Like, so I don't know. And it's just, I honestly have not gone to seek the video out, and that's just
I haven't watched a video of it purposely. I haven't watched a video. The only video I saw from that scene was cops on the scene yelling Blue Lives Matter to a group of folks who were recording.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Like, that's ridiculous. With the Chauvin thing, it's just it's an indictment. To me, it's an indictment of the United States as a general statement that we weren't sure how this was going to go down, right? Like that to me is crazy. The other part that I wanted to tie in that Micah sent, which is it's pretty amazing. I'll play the clip in a second. Tim Scott, a Republican, a Black Republican, basically gave the rebuttal response to Joe Biden's first big speech the other night, where he said, like, hey, look, America is not a racist country. Tim Scott, I don't know if people know this. Like, I follow politics pretty heavily, but like, Tim Scott is also a black man who publicly stated that he has been pulled over by the Capitol Police a number of times because he's black.
Jay, what state is Tim Scott from?
Oh, I don't even know. He's somewhere in the
He's
Midwest.
from South Carolina.
Oh, that's right. South Carolina, not even the Midwest. Yeah. So, like, America's not a racist state. Yeah, you're from South Carolina. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. But, like, he stated that. Like, oh, and, like, his Republican colleagues were like, damn, you've been pulled over that many times? Like, that's crazy, man. He's like, yeah, I'm a black man. But now, Tim Scott is like, oh, no, time to toe the line type of shit. Incidentally, Mitch McConnell came out and said, yes, Tim Scott's perspective in his comments, that is the future of the Republican Party. I'm like, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. Like, does anyone believe that?
Tim Scott is the only black GOP senator.
Yeah.
The only one.
Yeah. Like, again, I don't understand why I don't understand why you would come out and say that, besides just the idea of trying to defend your party and defend, these ideals, but they don't really make any sense. Right. Let me play the clip, to be fair to him, so you can hear exactly the stupid shit that came out of his mouth.
Today, kids are being taught that the color of their skin defines them again. And if they look a certain way, they're an oppressor. From colleges to corporations to our culture, people are making money and gaining power by pretending we haven't made any progress at all, by doubling down on the divisions we've worked so hard to heal. You know this stuff is wrong. Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country. It's backwards to fight discrimination with different types of discrimination. And it's wrong to try to use our painful past to dishonestly shut down debates in the present.
Okay. So go ahead.
So he is, so I brought this topic up because I found this article on The Root, and I thought it was pretty interesting. The writer is trying his best to be Michael Harriot. He's trying his best to be completely fair and balanced. And he goes to the dictionary to define racism. A belief that race is a fundamental determinant of human traits and capacities of the racial differences produced an inherent superiority of a particular race, or behavior or attitudes that reflect and foster this belief, racial discrimination or prejudice. Definition 2, a systemic oppression of racial groups to the social, economic, and political advantages of another, a political or social system founded on racism and designed to execute its principles. Those are the dictionary definitions from Merriam-Webster of what racism is. Then the article goes out and gives a bunch of cited facts on economics, politics, criminal justice, education, and social issues, all of which give examples of how people of color, mainly black people, are put at a disadvantage. It's even written in our Constitution, right? That that black people are 60% of a human being. And it's literally right there. Every single thing that this country was built on is because of racism. And, one could argue that, he says, oh, well, people are trying to discount they don't want to see the progress that we've made. Yeah, we've made a tremendous amount of progress, but the bones are still there.
Right. Like, he's not, the thing is,
it's such a bad faith argument.
Right. Like, he's not wrong if you don't go an inch below the surface, right? Where he goes, right, which is like the classic GOP thing. They say things without fucking context, which drives me crazy, right? He says, oh, some people want to discount, progress that we've made. There are people like that. Nothing has changed since the 1940s. I'm like, okay, one, not true. But that doesn't mean that just because the trajectory is going in the right direction, there aren't more and more problems under the surface. Like, the problems are different and they are changing and they are adapting to the times. No, black people are not in, we're not in chattel slavery. That's true. We're not. Right. Big progress. Also, there's more black men in fucking prison during basically slave work than there was enslaved at the height of slavery, right? Like, so you can take away the context and make some bullshit statement, but if you look an inch below the surface, like, no, dude, these fundamental problems have not gone away. Like, things have changed. That doesn't mean things have been completely fixed. His other point where he says, you can't replace one type of discrimination with another type of discrimination. On the surface, that sounds correct. You're like, yeah, you know what? You're right. You shouldn't do that. Except what he's implying, because he's a Republican, is calling out white people for their racism is just as racist as white people being racist towards black people. That's what that really means, right? So again, if you go an inch below the surface, you actually get to see what the real meanings of this stuff are. So no, his statement is all complete bullshit.
These people, I don't want to say they've mastered rhetoric, but they've found a way to easily manipulate people who don't want to think.
Yeah.
Like who choose not to
choose.
Think.
Thank you. That's a better way of saying it. To choose not to.
And I don't agree with Tim Scott, but I am not the type of person that is quick to call a black person an Uncle Tom or sell out or some shit like that. I know a few black conservative men. I wouldn't say that they are like an Uncle Tom in my eyes actively harms is a detriment to his race at the behest of another. And while and while I don't think that, and I think Tim Scott is a very useful idiot in that way, in his party. Like, I consider like Candace Owens to be like a Tom. You know what I mean? Like,
Candace Owens is a Tom. Yeah, absolutely, 100%, absolutely.
But that's the only person off the top of my head that I can think of, because I'm willing to give black conservatives a little bit of leeway, but the fact that these people never want to have an honest conversation about it is amazing to me. And hello, he just said, I have been called Uncle Tom and the N-word by progressives. Well, guess what, dude? Right. That's racist.
Right. Like, he's literally defining racism as only coming from conservatives. That's not true.
Right. The point is, it's fine to admit that America is a racist country. What's not fine is acting on that racism and refusing to talk about it. And look, I get it. It gets boring. We talk about it ad nauseum, right? But it's still here, and no one's doing anything about it. Like, there's very slow moving change. And I understand that's how change happens with gigantic systems.
Yep.
But it's not going to happen in this country. Not my lifetime.
No.
Not my son's lifetime.
It'll get better, but it's not.
It'll get a lot better.
Yeah.
It'll get a lot better. But I don't know, man. I just, I want to give this dude the benefit of the doubt. And then he says, he gives this dumbass speech, and I just I feel bad. I feel bad for him, because I genuinely believe that this guy is out to do some good, but he is being used, and he's in the sunken place, right? Like, he kind of is. He kind of is. And it's sad, man. And I hate to see that from people, man. I just like, and it's not even like, well, America is not a racist country. Is it America itself is not a racist country? Or is is it the people of America? Like, what makes America, right? Is it the gigantic system and the people are just cogs in the machine, or is America the people?
America's the people. America's
And
racist
even
as
if-
fuck.
And,
Come on.
and even if you
It's
think,
crazy.
and even if you think America is the people, those people, a not insignificant portion of them, are racist.
Yeah.
So I just don't. It amazes me that people think that people boil down race. White people do this a lot, and some black people apparently they do this a lot. They think that racism is only the extreme shit.
Yeah.
Calling someone a name, or
Fire hoses.
burning a cross, or fire hoses, or all that. Like, and because we don't have the fire hoses and the dogs and the burning crosses in front lawns, because we're not doing that savage shit as a country anymore, en masse, they think that racism is over. And it's a lovely thought, but you can't be that naive. You can't be that dumb. You can't be that willfully ignorant, man. I just
Counterpoint. Yes, they can. And they do. Tiara,
you shouldn't.
Yeah,
you
you
shouldn't be that dumb.
Yeah, you should.
Or willfully ignorant.
Tiara, your thoughts?
I
Ditto.
agree with a lot of what you said. I'll disagree here. I do think Tim Scott is a coon. I hear that
hold on.
he
I'll edit this out so we don't want cancel culture to get our podcast. No, go ahead.
Tim Scott. I remember when Tim Scott first took office. I was in South Carolina in college.
Oh, really?
When he took office, and he came to my university to give a commencement speech, and I remember a lot of folks.
Oops.
A friend of mine in particular was sending out a petition to get him banned from speaking because of his stances on abortion. Didn't work because it is still a school in South Carolina. He was able to speak. I don't know what Tim Scott's problem is. And I'm going to say the thing where I'm going to be like, I don't know what's in his heart. But
Yes, you do.
But a lot of the things that his actions as a senator, like, to me, like, Candace Owens is definitely a coon. But the reason why Tim Scott is so dangerous is because he has power. He is one of the 100 senators that can do things like vote to impeach the former president of the United States for leading an insurrection. And Tim Scott did what? He voted to acquit Donald Trump.
Right.
Tim Scott voted alongside Donald Trump 90% of the time. And I got this from CNN. So
CNN. Those guys just make shit up. Come on.
Yeah, and enemy of the fake news.
Yeah,
Fake news.
obviously.
But he voted to weaken the Dodd-Frank Act, which is to stop discrimination among mortgage lenders. He defended the recent Georgia voting bill, saying that it would allow more people to vote than in Democrat-run states like New York. However, what does that bill do? It limits drop boxes in predominantly Black areas. And is that the same bill that tells people that you can't hand out water?
That is correct.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, he may think he's doing the right thing, but I kind of hate, well, no, I don't hate to simplify it, but this is some coolness shit. I
am convinced. I'm convinced.
You know what? You got me.
You make some really good points. Fuck
Like,
that coon ass nigga.
Wow, what a fact-based turnaround.
I get so, I didn't watch his rebuttal last night, but I get so angry at folks like him, especially him, because to say that America isn't a racist country, like, there wasn't someone walking around the Capitol building with a Confederate flag, and then
Right.
and there was only one central reason why Donald Trump and his Republican colleagues have now since whitewashed the insurrection. It's because they wanted to stop Black and brown people from voting. At the end of the day, they don't want us voting. And Tim Scott is actively playing a part in our ability to not have a country that keeps us from, or that will allow us to progress like we need to. He's an embarrassment, and he should.
I would agree with you.
He should be, as someone who is from South Carolina, who should know the history of slavery down there. One of the worst states for slavery for us. He should know better. And honestly, I hope all of his ancestors are rolling over in their graves, and I hope they look down to him with disgust. And I hope whenever he passes, they don't claim him. Well, actually, he won't be going to heaven. He'll be going to hell. Oh. I wouldn't call him an Uncle Tom because it's an insult. And
I mean, I feel like
this also Uncle Tom's. God damn!
Like I feel like all the shit you laid out was a mad large insult. But sure, don't call him an Uncle Tom. We don't want to go too far. I hope your ancestors in the afterlife don't claim you. No, but I don't want to. I don't want to be rude.
No, it's an insult to Uncle Tom to be called.
Oh, damn. Okay, I'm sorry.
They were calling him Uncle Tim.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Yeah, that's
and it's would have blocked it. Like they had to block.
They had to block the hashtag. Yeah, that's fucked up.
I don't care. I don't care about calling him names.
That's clever though.
Because
I'm not gonna lie. That's fucking funny.
Like us calling him names doesn't change the fact that he can still have a deciding vote if he wanted to. Now that Trump is out and Joe Biden is in there, and clearly Joe Biden wants to work on both sides. I truly believe that's what Joe Biden wants to do. But Tim Scott could always choose to do the right thing and break with his Republican colleagues, especially when Joe Biden mentioned systemic racism, which is pretty big for the United States to have a sitting U.S. president do that. But he chose not to, and he continues to choose not to. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, fuck Tim Scott, coon ass nigga.
Here's the thing with Tim Scott. Right?
I just hit end record. Like we just publish it right then. Like I'm okay with it ending like that.
Here's the thing with Tim Scott. I think this dude is he's out of his depth regarding this. So you remember the Unite the Right rally,
of course,
right?
Yep.
There's a quote from Tim Scott saying, "Racism is real. It is alive. It's here." I wonder what changed between now and then. But the response from the vast majority of this country is diametrically opposite of the response in the 60s. We've had the United States military generals, leaders standing up and rejecting racism. We've had corporate America, which is fairly silent back in the 60s, standing up very strong, very loud, very proud. So the response is in totality the exact opposite of what it was in the 60s. And that is the problem with the modern GOP. You keep and people on the right who think that racism is over, you keep comparing now to then. This is, I understand that people like history and all that, but this is a what have you done for me lately thing, man.
The world is ever moving. Like you can't stay stuck.
Even that beloved document had amendments to it.
Yeah.
Because the world keeps changing.
Yeah.
And how in one moment he can be like, racism is here, it's here, and people didn't do much about it in the 60s, and now they, are better about calling it out. But how do you forget that? You are admitting right there that the world is ever evolving and things are trying to get better, but it's still here. It's not gone. So I don't understand. And look, maybe it's not fair for me to hold some comments that this guy said, 4 or 5 years ago?
Yes, it is.
No, yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
That was not that long ago.
Tim Scott this is his first time he came in at 20. He came in 2012. He knows better. he may be one of those black folks who was probably like, black kids picked on me when I was little. And they
100%, 100%, 100%.
Oh yeah,
That's the MO.
Look at his smile. Of course, he got a weird smile. Of course, people made fun of his act.
The way I talked made me want to make sure niggas never voted. Like, wait, what?
He knows what racism is, and I don't believe for a second that he believes anything he said last night. He still stood around when Donald Trump gave those remarks when he called African countries and Haiti shithole countries. And Tim Scott was like, yeah, well, obviously I disagree. The president shouldn't be talking like that. But you still went on and voted along with him on policies that would hurt non-white people. You still stood around as he put kids in cages. You still stood around as he did nothing about coronavirus, that harms mostly people who look like us.
I like, on the one hand, I understand what it's like to
be picked on by black kids.
To feel like I understand what it's like for black women to just shit on me all the time. But I don't hate you for it.
Thank you.
But look,
Publicly.
I understand the feeling of feeling like you have to toe the line to keep your job or whatever.
Right.
My thing is,
that's every black person at a job now.
Yeah.
But where's the line? Right? Like, what is the thing that's going to put you over the edge? That's what I'm curious about.
Becoming a Republican candidate is the line, right? Is that the line? Like, I mean, it's Tim Scott's experiences as a black person are not unique. There are a lot of black people who've experienced similar things, but are not out here defending voter suppression or any other racist policy.
He's
the only one. And I know like he also has some like former Senator Harris and Cory Booker did the whole like, we're black senators, yay, we're all a team, but one of them decided to vote with Mitch McConnell, and the other ones decided to do the right thing.
Yeah. Well, okay. I will try my best to answer why Tim Scott is the way he is. And the easiest way I can answer that is it's a cult. It's a cult, right? It's a cult. The GOP is formally, in the last just months ago, was run by literally a cult of personality, right? Like, it's a cult. It is designed to have people who believe in huge lies. And if you believe those lies, you'll believe anything, right? You will defend any of it. In order for you to be a black conservative, you have to believe that while the world has dealt you a shitty hand in America as a black person, no matter how rich you are or how poor you are, you were discriminated against on some level, whether you realize it or not, which would be crazy if you didn't realize it. But let's say you didn't. You have to believe that all the other black people you see that are not senators and Congress people and presidents and everything else, all of those black people who are talking about this massive discrimination and the massive injustices that befall them, all of that is not happening. All of that, if it is happening, can be solved by making sure that black people can start a business, right? Like, these are the big lies that trickle-down economics can help black people, even though it doesn't exist. And it is a bullshit argument and it is a lie. You have to believe that racism is just addressing one race about a thing over another. Context be damned. I literally just had a conversation with a conservative who said that Joe Biden's administration banning menthol cigarettes was racist against black people, even though it is directly designed because black people are marketed. Menthol cigarettes are marketed to black people, and black men die of lung cancer at the highest rate of any other group in the country, right? And get the latest diagnosis of preventable lung cancer. That's why they're doing it. But because it's talking to black people specifically or addressing something that deals with black people more than it deals with white people or any other race specifically, it is racism. But in order to believe that, you have to believe in that lie. that racism is just talking to one race and not talking about another one at the same point. Even though it's also not racist if you talk to white people directly and not talk to anyone else. That is also not racism, right? So you have to buy into all of those lies. And you also have to buy into this idea. And it is, I guarantee you, to the conservative black men that Micah knows and the conservative black people that I've known, that I don't fucking talk to anymore because fuck them. Like, I'm done. Right. There is a level of like, I'm an individual. I'm not black. I'm OJ type of shit.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what it is. And you have to buy into that lie. You have to buy into this hardcore they would argue, anti-collectivism sort of thing. If you can buy into that, then you can be a black conservative. It doesn't matter that as a black man, whatever you do, if you end up on the news, all of us get painted with that shit. It doesn't matter.
Right.
But they buy into the lie that's not true, even though conservatives push that lie. It's not black liberals or black people on the other side that push that lie. It's black conservatives that push that lie, right? You got Tucker Carlson on TV talking about they're bringing in immigrants to replace white people. What is that? That's a replacement theory. That is a huge lie to tell white people to be afraid. Right? So you have to buy into all of these lies. And when you can buy, especially that rugged individualism, I'm OJ, I'm not black type of shit. When you can buy into that, then you can buy into all of that, like pro voter suppression. Cause look, I'm voting and I'm doing everything proper. So you should be doing it. It doesn't matter the context of what's happening in Georgia. It doesn't matter the context of what's happening in Texas or any of the other states, with election, all these changes in election laws. None of that matters because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing according to the rules. So you should be doing what you're supposed to be doing because we're all starting, all of us, black, white, or whatever. We're all starting even. That's the lie that he has to buy into. So, and I said this to Micah before you got on tonight, but I say this honestly, I would love to have a conversation with a black conservative, not a debate, but a conversation with a black conservative. We put it on tape, right? Just me and you about the big lie that you believe, because I think it is lies. It's not about whether I think racism, is hindering me as a person. I mean, this is not a bragging thing. I'm a pretty successful guy. Like, my life is pretty fine. I'm not like, oh, I'm destitute by any means. But I also realize that as a black man, my story is not indicative of like all black people. Like, weirdly, right? Like, that's what they think on the opposite side, which is bizarre, right? I also know that my family has struggled with shit. And that I've dealt with racism shit. It doesn't mean that you can't overcome and persevere, but it doesn't mean that it's easy. It doesn't mean that it's simple. And frankly, I got lucky. And some black people are not as lucky. Right? So I would love to have a conversation because I think black conservatism requires a lie. I think it requires a massive lie that you tell others. And sadly, a massive lie you tell yourself. And I think Tim Scott is a liar of that degree. I think he goes home every night and he tells himself, well, I'm an equal person in the eyes of all these conservative colleagues. Mitch McConnell sees me as an equal, just like any other conservative. Dude, they wouldn't spit on you if you were on fucking fire.
Tim Scott said he got put over 7 times in the year, right? In 1 year. Was that the one?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Look at how the Republicans, here's an idea, Tim. Look at how the Republicans are treating Matt Gaetz, a guy who is a pedophile, who is fucking underage girls, and they're just waiting for the shoe to drop. They still, holding out hope. You think they do that for you? You think if you got a DUI, they'd stand up for your ass? You think if you got busted having an extramarital affair, they'd stand up for your ass? No, they wouldn't. They'd toss you to the fucking wolves immediately. Mia Love, right? Mia Love, black conservative. Black conservative in the house, right? Oh, yeah, Mia Love. Here comes a black conservative. Her and Tim Scott, they were in it together. What happened? Remember. Yeah, what happened? She ain't support Donald Trump enough. She was like, yeah, no, like I'm cool with him. Like, it's fine. I'm just like, maybe like not cool with like every fucked up thing he says. And so she didn't say something about certain shit. Donald Trump was like, nope, done. Whole party turned right against her. Let her lose that fucking election. They ain't fight for her ass at all. And she was what, in Utah?
Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah. And she's like, she's not like ambiguous looking. Like she's like,
no, dude, she ain't light skinned at all. Right? She my complexion. What the fuck?
Skin, she got big lips. Like she ain't.
Nah, yo. And they threw her ass directly. Done. Meanwhile, Marjorie Taylor Greene bragging because she ain't read 14 pages of the fucking Green New Deal. They fighting to keep her ass in there, and she's an idiot. So no, it's a big lie that they believe, and that's what it is. That's what black conservatism is, a lie. Conservatism is a fucking lie, right? But black conservative, you have to tell yourself, you have to believe that fucking lie every day that you get up and drive your stupid ass into work. You got to believe it. You got to believe it.
I don't know how Tim Scott was for the first 4 years of his term when President Obama was in office.
He was largely like, maybe he shouldn't do that. Like he was used as a cudgel, right? Like they used him. They're like, send a nigger out to comment about the nigger president. Like that's what they did with him. Yeah, that's what they did with him. Spoiler: why do you think he got elected? That's why.
Apparently, he's the first black or senator in South Carolina since Reconstruction.
Yeah, that's correct.
His win was pretty historic, and no one can ever take that away from him. But it's
nor should they, by the way.
But it's saddening to know how he is using his newfound power to basically be a show for the Republicans. And it's I think about this, like if Hillary had won in 2016, would he be as extreme as he is now? Because I feel like after the Trump era, if you're a Republican, you're around at this time, there is no kind of backing away from that without being tossed out by your party.
Right. I don't know.
Mike, are you gonna say something?
I was, but I forgot what it was.
He was going to defend.
Don't worry about it.
He was going to defend. He was. He was gonna rip open his Batman shirt to show his Tim Scott 2012 shirt.
I don't know. Like I mean, Jay, you're the more politically minded out of the three of us. If you are in Congress and you were a senator,
I would fist fight Tim Scott if that's what you're asking. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hey, but I probably frown on that. Like, you can't be fighting niggas in the hall of Congress, though. I thought it was the insurrection. Sorry, my bad. No, I wouldn't, if I was like one of his congressional colleagues, like obviously I wouldn't be a Republican. Get out of here.
Right.
I'd be like, yo, can we go to lunch, my nigga? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Actually, that's a lie. I would be so incredibly disgusted with him. I would never talk to him. I would never talk to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would never talk to him.
And you're the problem.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. Because they would be like, Jay, why won't you work with Tim Scott? I'd be like, yo, I know it's only 9 p.m., Rachel Maddow, but let me just say this as you're interviewing me. One, big fan. Fuck that nigga. Like, and then, then I can't come on TV no more.
No, you'll just be invited to Lawrence O'Donnell.
Yeah, he'd play that shit. He'd play it. He'd be like, run it again. No, but I'm just not. I don't. Again, that's why I want to have a conversation, not a debate, but I want to have a conversation, like, because the roots of black conservatism with people like in the modern era, it's all the same. That's why when I said I'm not black, I'm OJ, that's why Michael was like, that's it. Because they all have the same fucking story. Key and Peele did that joke where they all the black conservative men, they're like, we're not a monolith, and they all dress the same. They were saying the same shit. They all got white wives. Like, it was the same fucking story. I got picked on by black kids and I didn't like it. Like, it's the same fucking story. They got the same haircut. Like, god damn, no shape up. Like, Tim Scott got a baldy because it's either this.
Is Tim Scott married? Let me see what his wife looks like.
Yeah, come on.
I know.
I think his wife is black, actually.
Oh, okay.
We go. Don't do it, Tim. Don't do it. No, of course, who cares who he's married to? But it's always that same story. Like that.
Yeah.
That's the problem, is the commonality of that story, which to me is very weird. And again, that's why it's about buying into the lie, right?
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, like, this is completely unrelated, but he's not married, nor does he have kids. That's interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
For a senator from South Carolina. Okay. All right.
Think about it. All right.
Oh.
I don't know. I honestly wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Look, Lindsey Graham has been a fucking senator for years, and for some reason, people still can't figure out why he's alone. No.
I guess for
a man with a long handshake.
This last on Tim Scott, like part of me wants him to do better, but I just feel like he's just a lost cause at this point.
He's incapable.
That's my feelings on him, right? Like, I want to believe this guy. I really do. But at the same time, I think he will have the Michael Steele effect when he's done.
Oh, Michael Steele is my favorite trajectory, right? Like he's a wild dude to watch now. Yes.
But it's if
it last?
You're in too long, if you're in too long, you might not be able to come back. You know what I mean?
You know, Mike, I think if the insurrection wouldn't have happened, I could see that. But I don't know. I maybe because I feel like the insurrection was such a big event, and it was the big lie, and seeing people trying to literally overthrow the government, and you know who caused it, and you still chose to say no. This guy, no, we are allowing the same man who almost destroyed the country and caused over 500,000 people to die from a preventable virus, or preventably from a virus. And you're still like, he can still run in a few years. I don't think he's ever going to Michael Steele it. If anything, whenever he's doing politics, this man is on probably not even Fox News. He's probably going to be on OAN.
God damn.
That's where we're at now.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Yeah, Michael Steele is an interesting character because Michael Steele is a guy I could not disagree with more politically, but I can respect. I can respect it. I can respect him.
Like, those are the black conservatives that I personally know.
Right.
Like Erica knows a Tim Scott.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, that's right. Oh god,
like it got to the point where she was just like, "All right, I can't be friends with this guy anymore."
Nah, yo, that dude was what? No, actually, he made Tim Scott seem reasonable. Like that dude was fucking wiling. He was wiling. He was from Florida.
It's funny because Michael Steele was head of the Republican Party when they swept the Dems like a decade ago, and now he's like,
now
he's like, I don't know what the fuck these niggas are doing now, but
they threw that. He's actually a perfect example. That dude was the most successful head of the RNC in their history, and they threw that nigga to the wolves immediately. Oh, we done? Fuck Michael Steele. Like, yo, what? Because you're black. They don't give a fuck about you.
So
done.
I feel like the way that we're talking about like black conservatives, like people like Michael Steele or Colin Powell or Condoleezza Rice are probably more a lot of the black conservatives that we all know. Tim Scott is a whole nother being now.
Maybe that's it. Because I know, they're
smart.
I don't know any female black conservatives, but I do know male black conservatives, and they are one's a military guy, right?
Makes sense.
Like, and the other is a Michael Steele type of guy, right? Like he's not, but that's kind of who he is.
Right.
And maybe that's it. Maybe I'm, rooting for everybody black. Maybe that's like me trying to project that on Tim Scott. And it's just not like
there are no good Republicans.
It's like he's afraid to talk about race. And
not honestly, he can't. He can't. How?
He turned down he even turned down being in the CBC. Like,
oh wow, I didn't know.
Yeah, he declined it.
You can't my nigga. You can't be in there.
Jim Clyburn probably gets in this nigga's ass all the time. You think Jim Clyburn is like?
Yo, Jim Clyburn is like our old school black dude too. He don't mince words on not a goddamn thing. What you doing in here, Tim? Get your ass up out of here. All right, I'm gonna leave.
No, but there's also like a certain decency that you probably don't have to question when it comes to folks like Michael Steele or a Condoleezza or a Colin Powell. That with Tim Scott, you're wondering like if you are the fact that you're still aligned with them as closely as you are. I do question your decency as just a human being.
You know what? I'm actually gonna push back a little bit in defense of Tim Scott a little bit. I don't think he's as bad as.
Yeah, I don't think he's evil.
Right. Well, I don't think. I mean, maybe he is. I don't know. I don't know that man. I don't know what's in his heart. If he has.
Sorry. We are not questioning what's in people's hearts. No, just by their actions.
Right. And judging them with our hearts, like hard.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's as bad as that. What I do think though is I think he's an active member. Like I think it is easy to sit and look at Michael Steele and be like, look at Michael Steele criticizing Trump, willing to put himself on the outside, all this other shit. But that's after being tossed to the wolves by the Republican Party and then seeing Trump come in and being like, I'm conservative. I'm not an idiot. Right. Like, and so he was just like, look, I'm already on the outside. Let me just keep going. So I don't know. And like Condoleezza Rice is not a person like, I think Condoleezza Rice is an incredibly smart person. I also think she did an incredibly terrible job in the Bush administration. But when it comes to race, I don't ever really think about her. Like I just don't. Colin Powell is a different animal altogether because I think Colin Powell is a very old school conservative guy, right? I think as a military guy, like it's just a different aspect of what conservatism is for him. Like that dude calls out racism. Like he's like, this is unacceptable shit. Like it's just this. Like I watched a whole talk with him like live once. Like he's an incredibly impressive person, just like his life is impressive.
He's fascinating.
He's a fascinating fucking guy. People are like, fuck Colin Powell. I'm like,
really interesting guy.
Yeah, you should. I actually have I won't tell the story on here, but I'll tell you guys offline. It's a fascinating story about him, a personal story about him. So I think that if Tim Scott was maybe outside of, like after being inside the halls of power and then pulled out, you might see a different Tim Scott. But just like any of these black conservatives, when they are especially in Congress, they're useless. They're useless. Like
when you're in it,
you can't see out of it. You can't
until you get pulled out. Like you
can't see it. Like you can't. And look, that's not an excuse for his shitty behavior. Like you should always hold him to that. But it's hard to see outside of that shit when all your boys are like, yeah, let's vote again. Let's vote for, these Georgia laws. And you're like, yeah, more Republicans. That's all you're thinking about. But you're not seeing it like until you go, hey, Stacey Abrams, like, what's the problem with the Georgia law? And she just starts to hit your ass with like a 2-minute, like hot 16, like of all the fucked up shit. You don't see it. You're just thinking of your team. You're thinking of your red team or your blue team. And the problem is, as a black person, we're not afforded that. White people can do that. White people, liberal or conservative, can say, I'm on team red or I'm on team blue. But black people, because as Micah says, and he's 100% right, white people don't really give a fuck about other white people. Like they just don't. They don't fuck with other white people like that.
It's weird. They don't have like a sense of camaraderie.
They don't.
Like sects of white people do. Like Italians for Italians and Irish for Irish. But like white people in general do not give a fuck about white people.
No, they don't. Look, you know how I can prove that point 100%? Look, we're talking about why is everybody, people are comparing this young black girl who was killed by the police, right? She got a knife. Who are they comparing her to? Kyle Rittenhouse. What black people he kill? What minorities kill? None. He killed 2 white people, right? Like, they don't give a fuck, right? Like, white people are defending him, and also white people are like, throw that nigga under the jail. Like, right? So white people don't really fuck with other white people as a generality. They fuck with each other in sex, right? Like, you police, I'm police, right? You conservative, I'm conservative. Like, that's how it works, right? They section themselves off in weird ways. So, but black people, we aren't afforded that. Like,
Right.
we're just not. I don't fuck with black conservatives. I don't like your ideology. I think it's shitty. I think it's fucked up. And I think you do damage. I don't want to see you get hurt. I don't look, as much as I think, Tim Scott is fucking like voting against shit that I think is detrimental to black people. I don't think it's right that he gets pulled over by the cops, because I don't want to see a cop shoot Tim Scott, because he's a black man and I'm a black man. So I'm going to still defend him for that right? Like, as a human being, as a black man, because I know whether he realizes it or not, he's still going through shit. And I, as a black person, I also got to look out for him, right? This is a thing that white liberals never understand about how black people vote.
So
right? We gotta look out for our own people. Because look, at the end of the day, y'all might decide that y'all go in a different direction. We got to still look out for our own people. Like, that's just the way it is.
There's another black Republican I just thought of, Will Hurd, who was one of the few black.
That mealy mouth ass nigga. I'm retiring from good. Get out. Yo, I hated that dude, yo. He was a clown.
It's funny you say that, like,
fake
basically,
ass smart nigga.
as a black person, of course, we don't want to see anything happen to Tim Scott. But it makes me think of something I saw on Facebook earlier by a white liberal woman who said she wonders if Tim Scott knows if he's black. And I saw
do that. Don't do that.
I was like,
I
was like, no, I was like, that's not it. I was like, no, don't. That's not cool. Like, you don't get to say that shit. Yeah, like that's not for you to decide. Like, you as a white woman, when you see us checking us, you can just stay silent.
Check the fuck out. See what you can do. Nah, yo. No. I will defend another black person, no matter what their ideology is, against a white person black checking them. Don't do that.
Right. Yeah.
Now, look, he might be a piece of shit. He's just a black piece of shit. Like, that's just the way it goes. Like, no, you don't get to know true Scotsman black people. Fuck that.
Right.
Go deal with Rachel Dolezal. That's y'all wheelhouse. Like, knock it off.
Yeah, as much as I dislike Candace Owens, she's still black. Whether she
okay, well, maybe there is. No, I'm kidding. I hate that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna deny her blackness.
No, I'm not. She just can't take care of her own hair.
You gotta be black to be a coon.
That's right, Michael. Cooness Owens.
Cooness.
I just like calling her a coon.
Do you think we could find her mailing address and just mail her a bunch of raccoon masks?
No, she wears one all the time.
Oh, damn. Her hair is a goddamn mess. That's how you know she ain't got no black friends. I mean,
I was gonna say something, but no.
No,
it's
don't do
below
that.
The belt.
That's fine. Who cares? Fuck her. Anyway. All right. I think that's it. I think we've exhausted that conversation. So see us next week for episode 198 for Color Girls. Again, you can watch it for free on Tubi, Tubi, or on Amazon Prime with ads. I'll be downloading the Tubi app on Google. So I'm not watching it with ads. Get out of here. I'm an adult. So check that out, and we will see you guys next week.
See ya.
Bye. You're watching the Black on Black Cinema YouTube channel. Make sure you check out our full reviews of black movies, past and present. And every other week, we do a preview episode where we talk about a random topic that affects the black community.